I decided to do the Think Aloud media project. I usually like to be prepared, but I wanted it to be authentic, so I'm just gonna flip to one of the short stories that are in this book and then start. Okay. Landed on the short story called Complaining. When my grandmother was raising me in Stamps, Arkansas, she had a particular routine when people who were known to be whiners entered her store. So it sounds like she owns her own business. Whenever she saw a known complainer coming, she would call me from whatever I was doing and say conspiratorially. That word, conspiratorially. We'll get back to that. Sister, come inside, come. Of course I would obey. So the grandmother calls her granddaughter sister. I think that's just a term that they use of endearment. She wants her to hear, I guess, these people who complain. My grandmother would ask the customer, how are you doing today, Brother Thomas? Okay, so brother. So it's a term of endearment, I guess. And the person would reply, not so good. There would be a distant whine in the voice. Not so good today, Sister Henderson. You see, it's this summer. It's the summer heat. So I'm guessing Sister Henderson is the grandmother. I just hate it. Oh, I hate it so much. It just frazzles me up and frazzles me down. I just hate the heat. It's almost killing me. I don't like to sweat either, but I don't know about killing me. Then my grandmother would stand stoically, her arms folded, and mumble, uh-huh, uh-huh. And she would cut her eyes at me to make certain that I had heard the lamentation. The lamentation. I think that's the way that you talk. I think her grandmother wants to see how ungrateful people are and dramatic. At another time, a whiner would mule. I hate plowing that packed down dirt and got no reason, and the mules and got good sense. Sure ain't. It's killing me. Sounds like this is another customer complaining about their lives, their job. I can't ever seem to get done. My feet and hands stay sore, and I get dirt in my eyes and up my nose. I just can't stand it. And my grandmother, again, stoically with her arms folded, would say, uh-huh, uh-huh, and then look at me and nod. I think this is unspoken communication between the granddaughter and the grandmother, that she wants you to pay attention to people who do nothing but complain. As soon as the complainer was out of the store, so as soon as the complainer, and she was called when the complainer walked in the store. So the grandmother already knew that this person is known for complaining, or they always have something negative to say, which I would hate to be viewed as a complainer. My grandmother would call me to stand in front of her, and then she would say the same thing she had said at least 1,000 times, it seemed to me. Sister, do you hear what brother so-and-so or sister much to do complained about? You heard that? And I would nod. Mama would continue. I guess she refers to her grandmother as her mother. Sister, there are people who went to sleep all over the world last night, poor and rich, white and black. See, she doesn't discriminate ever, and she makes sure everyone is always accounted for. But they will never wake again. That is important to remember. Sister, those who expected to rise did not. Their beds became their cooling boards, and their blankets became their winding sheets. Wow. Sounds like she's teaching a lesson that you shouldn't take advantage of what you have. And she'll say it over and over again so that you never forget to be grateful every single day. And those dead folks would give anything at all for just 5 minutes of this weather or 10 minutes of that plowing that person was grumbling about. So you watch yourself about complaining, sister. Attitude and perspective is everything. I agree. What you're supposed to do when you don't like a thing is change it. That is right. And if, in my experience, when my mom repeats things over and over, I never forget them, and they end up being huge lessons, just like this one. Don't sit around and tolerate something that you can change. Don't just complain about it. Do something about it. Take action. If you can't change it, change the way you think about it. Don't complain. Perspective is everything. It is said that the persons have few teachable moments in their lives. I don't know if I agree with that. A lot of things can be teachable moments. Mama seemed to have caught me at each one I had between the ages of 3 and 13. She's very wise. Whining is not only graceless, but can be dangerous. It can alert a brute that a victim is in the neighborhood. I wonder what she means by that. A brute that a victim is in the neighborhood. Maybe that you're weak and can be taken advantage of if you complain. You put up with stuff that you don't agree, that you don't like. Well, thank you. That was all.